Uh, hey everyone. This isn't really a gaming video, but this is actually, I just came from outside, so I'm really sweaty. Um, but this is actually a video, to everyone who becomes a subscriber to me and, becomes part of the Fox family. But, thoroughly, this is because of me getting 11 subscribers, but also because there's a YouTuber that I'm a very favorite fan of, which is Blasphemous HD. He does really great reaction videos and gaming videos, and he's really great. Go and see him, but I realized that he did little story things, and I thought I got a lot of things in my past that I think a lot of people might like or dislike. I mean, it's okay if you don't like it or what. But if y'all don't know this, I'm actually, sorry, I got something in my eye. But, I'm both bipolar and autistic. So take that into mind when I tell you, one of my stories. Okay, let's see, which one should I do? Well, I suppose one that I think is very common these days is if anyone out there who's always getting bullied um, by people, like people older than you, or let's say principals or something, I know how you feel. Because ever since I was, I think around the age of 10 to 11, which would be probably around 6 years ago or 7 years ago. I was always bullied, but let's just say I earned my way up to the top. Nobody bullies me after one incident with me. But remember, I'm both bipolar and autistic, so take that an advantage when you think about these. Um, so yeah, Super Fox Destroyer here. I forgot to say that. But when I was around 12, and I go to a special school that handles kids like me, which is in Ferris, in Texas. Ferris, which is right outside Dallas. Um, and I've been going there ever since I was 6. So take that also into advantage. Um, but I've actually been going there since I was 6. Well, when I was doing really good, they decided to send me back to my original school in Milford, um, Texas. Let's just say that I'm a person who, when you meet me, I'm a person who says, as long as you don't give me trouble, I won't give you trouble. That's the kind of person I am. And I've always been like that, even when I gave people trouble. But they gave me trouble back. So, yeah. But, in Milford, but the assistant principal that I'm about to tell you about, she's been fired because she got caught in the act. When I went there, this one assistant principal, always picked on me. Back then, my asthma would kick up quite often. But, okay, so her name was Miss Burns. And I'm not gonna say Mrs. because she doesn't deserve it. But, also, uh, one day when I was at gym and we were doing, running around the place, and nowadays I can do a lot more before I, can't do anymore. But, uh, my asthma started kicking up, and I brought my own inhaler and my own pain pills to the school. And my asthma started kicking up, and I couldn't breathe very well. And my coach tried to force me to do something that I didn't want to. And I yelled in his face, and I told him, no, I'm not going to effing do that. Let's just say that. And I ran to the office to get my inhaler and pain pills, and this lady, I think she was Mexican, I'm not very sure, Now, like I said, I'm both bipolar and autistic, so these things I'm not about to tell you. Remember, I'm both of those, so give me a little bit of slack and don't criticize me as much. But uh, this is how rude and so unpolite they were. I asked politely if I could have my, I asked like this, can I please have my inhaler and pain pills? Well, she gets up, she goes and opens it. I see my inhaler and pain pills in there. She shuts it and opens and shuts it and says, no inhaler, no pain pills. And I clearly saw them. So I tell her, I saw my inhaler and pain pills. Could you please let me have them? No pain pills, no inhaler, she says. Then we start getting into a higher argument. I don't have a lot of breath, so I can't really yell as much, right? So then Mrs. Burns comes out of her office and says, what's going on here? And because this lady's getting rude with me and all that, and not giving me my inhaler pills, I snapped at her and said, shut up. And I told Miss Burns exactly what happened. And then Miss Burns says, if she says there's no pain pills, there's no pain pills. And no inhaler. So get out. And I firmly said to Miss Burns, I'm having an asthma attack. I need my inhaler, and I have a headache, and I need my pain pills. Yes, I did have a headache at the time as well. And then she goes and says, get out or I'm going to call the police. And I told her back because I knew she was going to rude me, so I got rude back. I said back to her, I said, you don't have any right to call the police just yet because this hasn't got to that point. Well, she picks up the phone and she tries to call the police. I ripped the phone out of her hands and I slam it back into the socket because there was no need to call the police yet, and I was just asking for my damn inhaler and pain pills. Right? So what happens is the then just like a kid like me, and then I said, there's no need to call the police just yet. Like I said, this hasn't evolved to that point, but if you want that to come, then you better just give me my inhaler and pain pills. Then the lady who was at the counter said, there is no inhaler and pain pills, you need to leave, like Miss Burns says. Or Mrs. Burns, whichever, I don't really care. And then I said, lady, you shut up because obviously you don't know how kids like me act, and unless you came here to, and I know this is really rude to all those who are Mexican and are subscribers to me, but this was back then. I still get like that, only when people get like that with me. It's just logic. But then I said, unless you came here on a paddle to America, and you don't understand kids like me, you need to just shut up. So let's just say evolve further from that, and I got I had to, basically the principal, the big person. 1 minute, okay, the big person himself, who's the person who does the school, said. Came out and said, what's going on? And I explained to him, and then they gave their explanation. Well, he called my parents to come and pick me up, which was the best thing. And I grabbed my backpack. I didn't even have enough strength at the time because of the asthma attack to throw my backpack at the window, the counter window in school. And these people, they must have been real blind because they reported I threw my backpack at the window with all my force breaking the window. What kind of kid, even at my age, and I'm strong. I am literally strong. I can pick up a almost 110-pound rubber weight and a 90-pound metal weight. That's really strong, especially for, me. But let's just say that, and I'm stronger since then. But I threw my backpack and it went under the counter. Under the counter. These people were blind because if by the report they gave me, that was a big exaggeration. Well, I got sent back to fair. Oh, but before we go on about that, you know what happened the next morning? Next morning, I wake up, I can't breathe. They had to take me to the hospital, and they had to put, I think, this big of a needle, this big, into my arm, put that stuff in me so that I could breathe. They asked who or what happened, and I yelled and said, "What happened?" And my parents don't like Miss Burns. Okay, so I go back to Ferris, and I'm doing really good. I don't agree to the idea of them sending me back to Milford, but they send me anyways. The second incident, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I do remember who caused it, and it originally was Mrs. Burns. Well, let me rephrase that to Miss Burns. Miss Burns pissed me off. I can't remember how. I think it involved because at the time I had a really bad bathroom problems. Let's just go with that. But yeah, let's just say that she pissed me off to the point where I took a sign and I wrote, "Nobody allowed in here, not even Miss Burns or my counselor, Miss Minchin." Then she had to drive all the way from Ferris to come and see me. Out of everyone, the only people that I don't throw a fit with are the people that I have known for a long time that actually helped me. The third incident, which a bunch of my friends saw. Everybody in the lunchroom saw this. So I was starving. I brought money to get an extra juice. And let's just say that I developed a natural talent to detect whether Miss Burns is gonna, F with me or what. But, so yeah, I bought an extra juice. And I sit down at a table with my friends. And I felt so bad because my friends had to see that side of me that day. I felt so horrible. I was so hungry. I didn't care what the lunch was, if it was that greasy roll that we got. It was like a biscuit, but it wasn't biscuit. It was like a roll biscuit. Yeah, it's hard to explain. But yeah, there's a really greasy thing that made that grease taste on the top of your mouth. I didn't even care if it was that. But I would just eat it. And some of the lunches at Milford was really nasty. But Miss Burns came over to me specifically and said, "Lunchtime's over." Right as I sit down and I start eating, she comes over and says, "Lunchtime's over. Throw away your stuff and go back to your classroom." And I didn't want to get in a fight with her that day. And I just said, "I'm not going to throw my stuff away until everyone else does." And she tries to take my stuff from me. I rip it out of her cold hands. And I say, "If you do that again, I will kill you." Which I think anybody like me would do that. Right? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person who thinks that. And everybody's sitting there, and everybody at the tables in between me, my friends, and like behind me and in front of this table is seeing this. So there was a lot of witnesses, right? And so what happens is, she then takes my plate in a quick hurry too, and throws it away. I guess my friends had an innate ability to detect when I get pissed off. Because it was at that moment my friends got up and left the table. I didn't say anything to them because I knew at that time that they were actually doing what was the best for me and them. The people at the other tables, like behind me and in front of me, moved to another table, but the people on the opposite sides of, like there's two sides of the table. The ones that's in front of it and the ones behind it moved to another table. But like half of them moved while the other half stayed. And I got up and I slammed my foot, literally slammed my entire foot into the chair and made a metal foot indent underneath the chair, right? Well then, the coach, and at the time, because I was really angry, he said, like, in the opposite way for me to calm me down. He was trying to calm me down, but he did it in the opposite way. So it just made me more angry. He said, if you don't calm down, we're going to have to call the police. And and he did it like that way, and when I'm angry, when I hear that like that, I actually get it just makes me more mad. Then one of the people, the teachers who doesn't really give me trouble, so I don't give her any trouble, told me to go into this room that made me calm every time I went in there. And the lady was so nice, she would let me take books home. And her room wasn't a library, but she would let me take her books home to read. And whenever they got tore up because of our cats or something, I felt terrible. I just felt so calm after I entered that room. And after that third incident, they didn't want me back in Milford. No matter how much Ferris wants or tries to put me back in Milford, they can't, because they know exactly what's going to happen. And even though finally they caught Miss Burns in the act and fired her, yeah, they didn't fire her, they forced her to retire. And I don't care what my therapists or any one of them say, it was not my fault. I was being bullied by two different people during this time. One who's older than me, and like on the bus he would sit behind me, and he would just say, like, I'm going to smash your head with a hammer, I'm going to blow your brains out with a shotgun, all that stuff. And in between this and the Milford thing, it just wasn't going to work out, like, right? Well, one day, and I'm going to tell y'all this part too. I mean, I guess it's just worth it. But, the kid that I was telling you about that told me those threats, one day I stood up to him. 1 minute. And I stood up to him, like I turned around in my seat, and I just told him, if you're going to pick on someone, you need to pick on someone your own grade, your own height, your own age. Oh wait, you don't want to because you don't want to get beaten up yourself. And you know what happens? I get punched in the eye, and I don't cry. I didn't cry. Because I was used to used to things like that. So what happens is, this is what happens. As I'm getting off the bus, I told the bus driver, who's Miss House, that I'm going to go home and I'm going to call the police. And you know what the bitch says to me? She says, well, you should have kept your mouth shut. And I cursed her out and I told her, fuck you. Like, what the hell? I stand up for myself from being bullied, and I get that. What the hell? Right? So, the next day I go to school, and this kid only gets on in afternoons. Luckily. Thank God for that. I go to school, and I'm called into the office. Because apparently I disturbed the bus, and I did the whole bus problems and stuff. And then Miss House is in there, and she told Miss Diane, the bus lady back then, but she told Miss Diane that I caused problems. And I cussed Miss House out because that was then completely incorrect thing. And I told her, if you don't get the fuck out of here, I will kill you. Because that pissed me off. I get in trouble for standing up for myself. That's not right. What has the world come to? Am I right? But Miss Diane knew exactly how I was feeling and everything, so she told Miss Diane to get out. And I explained to Miss Diane after I calmed down. I explained to Miss Diane exactly what happened, and Miss House didn't drive the bus for 2 whole weeks. Miss House was not allowed to drive the bus. And I was thankful for that, but that wasn't where the torment ended from that guy, that bully. And I think he was told on the news, he was the one who got taken down by a firefighter who's, I think, an ex-Marine. This kid that was bullying me tried to rob a store with a knife, a fucking pocket knife. And the guy who he pushed out of the way, which was a firefighter and ex-Marine, put him to the ground. I think that was on the news. Dylan something is what his name was. He's in jail, and I hope he stays there. Well, anyways, that was, a little story time. If y'all want me to tell y'all another thing from my, from my past, y'all can tell me in the comments below if y'all want to hear another story. And I will do another episode of The Joy Creation once I beat the living room. I haven't beat the living room yet, but yeah. But thank you for 11 subscribers. And like I said, there's another 9. If I get another 9 subscribers, I will do that Alien Isolation. I have improved it. I'm going to get a pair of my headphones that has, the cord. And I'm going to put the headphones on my ears. And I'm going to play it on the hardest difficulty with one hand at night, all by myself, when everyone else is asleep. But that's when I get 20 subscribers. I promise that. When I tell y'all I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Also, to Foxy Gaming Destroyer with Flaming Songs. I don't have Injustice 2. Now, I do have Injustice Gods Among Us. Like I said, I don't have anything that can hold my camera. So, but yeah, thank you for 11 subscribers, guys. Really, I am very thankful. I know that it might take me a long while, but I am glad for anybody who joins me, because y'all are joining the Fox Army. But thank you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. If this video can get, 5 likes, and I'm just probably like 10 views at the most. I know I'm probably not gonna get a lot of views, but if this gets if this gets that many amount, you can count on me coming back. And that if y'all want me to do another story thing, which I have a lot to tell you, but if y'all want me to tell you another one, just tell me in the comments below, and I'll do another video. I'll tell y'all another thing that happened with me when I was little. Like, by little I mean like 5 or so years ago. But yeah, thank you for 11 subscribers, and I welcome anyone who joins me, who subscribes to me, and to become a part of the Fox Army. So this is Super Fox Destroyer here, signing off. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, and Fox out.